Katie, the Pirate volleyball team got a couple of wins last week, although it looked like they got them in totally different ways. On Tuesday, a really strong all-around performance against Whitman, where it looked like maybe we played some of our best volleyball of the season. Talk about what you saw out there.
Yeah, Tuesday against Whitman was a great performance for us. I feel like we were just, we're executing. We were error-free in a lot of ways. We weren't giving them unforced errors. I felt like, we served tough and consistent, and defensively we were able to kind of anticipate what they were doing, dig things up, and stay in system on our side. And I felt like our hitters were just really physical and did a good job of terminating and moving the ball around. And like you said, I think we hit one of our highest team hitting percentages that we've had in a long time. And then hit the road and went to Linfield on Friday and got the first two sets, won those, and then Linfield made a surge and came back. And I think, looking back and reflecting on both film and just looking back on that moment, I feel like our girls were, even in those sets, I feel like we were kind of just like a little bit slow and maybe playing a little bit more undisciplined, not as good first contacts in serve receive or defend. And so we were just a little sloppy and not able to execute when we needed to, and made some silly unforced errors offensively. Defensively, not able to kind of stay in rallies and pick things up like we needed to. So I think it was just a good learning moment for us, and really proud of the team that we were able to push through that and win, even when it didn't feel good or felt like we weren't playing our best. Sometimes you have to win, even if it's not pretty.
Well, a little more about that match. We somehow picked it up in that fifth set, even after Linfield had all the momentum going in. Talk about how important that mental step was for this team.
Yeah, it really was a good sign, a good step forward in terms of making progress, because I felt like we've been in that situation before, specifically in preseason. We had a 5-set match against Chapman, and kind of in the same way where just things weren't really going our way and we weren't able to bring it together. And so even in, I felt like our lowest moments when our play physically, like we weren't doing the right things, mentally, I felt like we were always in it. I never felt like we lost confidence. I felt like we stayed composed. And I told my upperclassmen that was just evidence of good leadership, I think, of our seniors and some of those experienced players out there on the court, just, staying the course and saying the right things and holding each other accountable and kind of recognizing that, that's the game of volleyball. Momentum shifts and things happen. You just have to persevere and push through it. So I was really grateful to walk away with a win.
And you did that in front of a loud, energetic crowd on the road, first conference match on the road. Talk about how that preps you for this weekend, going back on the road, back in Oregon, and what do we know about Lewis and Clark and George Fox?
Yeah, hitting the road again and heading to Lewis and Clark on Friday, and don't know a whole lot about them. I think they're still young and kind of trying to figure things out, but have taken a few sets off of some good teams in our conference. And so I think our focus this weekend is just going to be focusing on what we can control on our side of the net and continuing to find improvement and work to meet that standard that we're seeking and achieve those goals. George Fox will be tough. I think they have some really good athletes, and while maybe their record doesn't reflect what they can do, they certainly are capable of putting together some really, really good sets. And so I'm hopeful that we can show up in a tough environment potentially, like against Linfield. We can use that experience and show up this weekend.